Gonna be good. Oh, I gotta turn this down. Okay, I think we're good. Hi,
Hi, Kendra. Hi,
everybody.
everybody.
All right,
Thank
you
you so
guys.
much
Well,
for inviting me.
yes, I'm so glad that you're here because I really did have so much fun talking with you on your channel. Ooh, there we go.
Me too.
Um, and it was just so easy, just talking and hanging out. And then even though I wasn't feeling great, I had such a hard time stopping talking to you even after the live stream ended. So
I know.
I'm glad that you're here because that was good times. And hi to everybody here. Just so you guys know, in the chat, when I'm looking over here to the side, I am looking at the chat on my computer. That way I'm not trying to do it from my phone because it never works very well. But thank you again, Jason, for the gifted membership for doing that. And then hi, Jason and Dawn. And I know I saw Lynn in here. And Pete. Hi, Pete.
Oh, Scratch and Pete. Hi, Pete.
Yay. Thank you guys for being here. I really don't have anything like really planned set out. This isn't like an interview type of thing. We're really just going to hang out our regular Tuesday Night Live, and Amy's going to be up here, and we're just going to have a good conversation. I know it's going to be good. But yeah, just the other night, I was like trying to think, oh, maybe I should do like Ring Fit for my live stream, or maybe I should do a live something. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I want to talk to Amy again. So I'm just going to ask her. And I didn't think you'd be able to because it was so last minute. I've actually felt kind of bad. But you were like, I can make it work. I was like, hey.
Yeah. Yep. Tuesday nights were great for me. So.
Oh, good. That is good to know. Well, we can just start talking. So, the whole point of this, really, the conversation starter, I guess, because who knows where this conversation will end up. But what I wanted for us to like start talking about is Amy and I very much have in common that we are really, really sensitive to like almost everything. And so I thought that could be something that's really good to talk about because we are not the only people out there who are like that, but hopefully to give people some type of encouragement about, like knowing you're not alone in it. And maybe we'll be able to help out a little bit with some different ideas of how to handle it or how to, oh, hey, Kevin. Oh, word up. Paula, hi. Hey, Jesse. Everybody's popping in. Thank you so much for sharing, Kevin. Okay, so I will just start with this, Amy. I'll start with the question. With and actually any of you guys in the chat too, like I know that at least one other person in the chat is in this group like we are, Amy. We're just super sensitive to like everything. But have you noticed that it made treatment or like health harder? And I mean that like because when you say, oh, I can't do this or I can't tolerate that people are like, oh, there's no way that you can't, you'll be fine type of thing. Like maybe people downplay it a little bit. Have you experienced that?
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, like, so when I first started, even just keto, I noticed things like my eczema that I've had my whole adult life cleared up, and my asthma went away, and like joint pain is better. And so, people often say, well, you can have just one cheat meal. You can just one little thing, right?
Yeah.
So going back to 2021, that was the year the virus was happening, and my sister-in-law actually passed away from non-alcoholic fatty liver disease because of
Oh
her
my
uncontrolled
gosh.
sugar addiction. So liver failure is a real thing from sugar. And
Yeah.
we were not allowed, there was a ban on traveling across state lines between Indiana and Ohio at that time that she was dying. And my husband and I basically just decided we're going to break the law. And if someone wants to arrest us for going to see her, then they can put us in handcuffs. Right. It was so lame. So,
Yeah.
well, we got to the nursing home that she was in and they wouldn't let us see her. And my husband almost got arrested for that. It was just a bad day. We drove to and from Ohio in one day. We said goodbye to her. It was the last time we knew we were ever going to see her alive. My husband almost got arrested for busting into the nursing home. The cops were there. It was crazy. So the point of this, I'll shorten a story, but we drove to and from Ohio in one day. We almost got a speeding ticket on the way back. It was just horrible. We saw my sister-in-law for the last time. And when we got back, he's like, "You want to go get a pizza?" And I'm like, "I absolutely want to go get a pizza." So I have been keto, let's see, since 2018. So this was 2020. So 2 years, right? 2 years clean eating. And I had a mental breakdown. My husband and I had the same mental breakdown at the same moment. We're like, I ate a half a pizza, regular sad diet food, and a half a order breadsticks. We basically split it 50-50. Let me tell you, Kendra, havoc on my body for like 3 weeks. I mean, my eczema came back. I couldn't walk, my joint pain from all my surgeries. I was like, oh, I thought I was dying, right? I thought like my body's having a meltdown and it's falling apart. But I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, what happened? We ate this food and that's when I realized gluten. Gluten's my number one trigger. Like, I can potentially cheat with rice. I could potentially cheat with beans. I could potentially cheat with corn because there's not gluten in those things. But anything with wheat and gluten in it,
Oh man.
and there's been so many times unintentionally since that. I've never intentionally ate anything bad since that time. But unintentionally, like if you go out, like for example, we tailgate for football games. So you go to somebody's tailgate and they have taco meat. There could be a seasoning in the taco meat that has gluten in it, and I wouldn't know. And so I had to be very careful with that because it can really make me immobile, make me feel terrible for weeks, not just a couple days, like 2 or 3 weeks. And so when someone comes to me and says, "Oh, you can just have one cheat meal or you can just have, a little bite." I'm like, "But I can't. I just can't."
I know. And it's almost like I will say that, and I imagine that, and also maybe some of you guys watching too have experienced maybe something similar where it almost seems like you're so sensitive to things or your body just doesn't tolerate things so much to a point where people think that is not real. Like, I have had at least one person say these types of things to me when it's like olive oil, avocado oil, all these things that are supposed to be like super, very, clean, keto friendly. Those oils cause so much inflammation in my body. Spinach makes me feel like crap. It's spinach. It's just leaves, for goodness sakes. Almond flour, coconut flour, like all these things that are, keto friendly. I can't handle it.
Okay, I lost audio. Sorry.
Oh no. Can you hear me now? But hi, MOL. Thanks for being in here. And I'm going to say hi to people real quick.
Keep talking.
Okay. Let's see. What'd you say, Jason, my body will just never accept milk. I keep thinking I can handle it, but nope. Okay, Jason, is it like any type of dairy or, like, can you do heavy whipping cream? Can you handle that? Okay. Can you still hear? Can you not hear?
Yeah, I can hear now. Sorry,
Okay.
I had audio.
Oh no, you're
Sorry, I missed what you said.
I was just saying, oh, hey, Fudge. Hi, thanks for being here. I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. Just milk. Other dairy is okay. That's so weird. It's just see, like something like that. People could be like, okay, if you can handle other dairy, then how could you not handle milk? Like it seems so whatever. And I feel like that is something that people probably think when it comes to certain spices or something like spinach. I think that was the biggest one for me when I was saying, I feel this way. I really think it's from the spinach. And the response is like, it's spinach. That's not what it is. And it is. Because when I went through the, process of like, okay, what if I go without this for like a couple weeks and then I bring it back in and then I realize that I feel like crap again. I'm like, oh my gosh, it is that. It is just from spinach. It is just from chili powder or like making almond flour crackers. I realized that I could have like maybe 4 and then my hands are swollen. My gut starts to hurt. Just so much inflammation. But it's so much more than just with food, that even medications, side effects for medications, creams or lotions. And I've been like, have you been like this? I'm curious now. Have you, and you too, Jesse, has it been like this for you guys your whole lives? Because I remember as a kid, I was the kid who like, when my mom used Mr. Bubbles for the first time, she had to pull me right out because I broke out in a huge rash from Mr. Bubbles. You know, the like fake makeup and the pink whatever stuff. My eyes got all swollen from that stuff. Like I've been this ridiculously sensitive to everything since I was a kid. Has it been like that for you guys?
Yes, actually, now that you just said that, you know what used to make me break out is the Lemon Joy dish soap. And my mom used to
Oh,
buy the lemon soap, and we would use dish soap for everything. But there used to be in the 80s like a lemon scented flavored whatever, not flavor because you don't eat it, but you know what I mean? Lemon scented like dish soap. And I remember she used to, so we didn't have bubble bath. She would just squirt the dish soap into our bath water. And then like, so we would take Dawn dish soap baths, only the lemon scented bath. And I would break out in hives because she was using that in my bath water. I hope she's not listening to this because I don't want her to feel bad. But I mean, that was the first thing I realized that I was probably allergic to. And then I just
yeah.
remember being like 9 and all the kids running out on the playground and I couldn't run. I had asthma so bad. And like now, my asthma barely bothers me.
That's
So
awesome.
it's just, now I probably didn't have as severe sensitivities to products. No, I was extremely allergic to animals, right? But I have 4 cats now and I'm extremely allergic to cats. And I
Oh
do take
man.
allergy medicine, but I'm able to cohabitate with them. So that's even better.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome.
But one thing I cannot take. I mean, I feel like I'm going to die if I take this vitamin C. I cannot take vitamin C.
That sucks. That sucks because
So,
it's so great.
I cannot take vitamin C. All I can say is it makes me retch, like I'm going to vomit and have the other end at the same time. My skin gets very like hives. I break out. I feel like I have a fever. It's just horrible. I can't even explain the feeling I get when I take vitamin C.
Oh my
Now, the only
gosh.
vitamin C I can take is in those drinks like Emergent C, which they have
Oh
sugar in
yeah.
them. So I don't want to take those anyway. But that's really the only vitamin because everyone's like, you need to take vitamin C. I'm like, I can't. I refuse to. It's not worth it to me to like.
Yeah.
And then, oh gosh, where do we even go with this? Medications. Anytime I take a new medications, chances are I'm gonna have a severe allergic reaction to it. So like my doctor wants to put me on a statin because my cholesterol's borderline. And I'm sure it's much higher now I'm doing carnivore because I'm putting butter on everything. But I don't want to take any more medications because every time I take a medication, whatever the side effect that is in small print that's on there, I'm going to get it. And then I don't want to go into detail on this, but vaccines. I have had severe reactions to vaccines.
Me
And people
too.
are like, you're lying. That's not true. You're just saying that because you're anti-vax and this and that. And I'm like, no,
I
not
gave into
really.
it one time in, oh, let's see, this must have been like around 2007 or maybe 2008. At my job, it was like required. We all had to have a flu shot. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to handle this. And the manager was like, you have to do it. You have to do it or else you're not going to have a job. And I was like, well, crap, I need a job. So I did it. And then they ended up having to call an ambulance because it was like, I got the vaccine. I got the flu shot. I came out. I sat in a chair. And that's the last thing I remember before they had an ambulance called. So I just don't.
mean,
I try to tell these people, like, I cannot get these things. I will. It does horrible things to my body. Like, I would rather just like get sick. Like, just let me get sick. I don't want
me
this.
too. Me too. And so I had the vaccine I had a terrible reaction to. And then I've had terrible reactions to flu shots. And of course, listening to people, well, you're just saying that because you're whatever politics. I'm like, no, it legit has zero to do with politics
Yeah.
and everything. Like, why would I have gotten these vaccines if I would have just not gotten them to begin with? That was the case. So I am now, I'm like, I better never step on a rusty nail. That's the other thing. My brother, same DNA, he hurt himself at work. He slit open his leg to the point where he cut his artery.
Ow.
And they had to stitch him up, and he had to get a D-tap, which is, he really only needed the tetanus shot. But the hospital he was getting stitched up at had a D-tap, which is tetanus, pertussis, whooping cough, whatever, the three things combined. And he's like, fine, just give it to me. Well, within 24 hours, he had a fever. He was in the hospital. His lungs were filled up with fluid. He had pneumonia.
Oh my
They had to
gosh.
puncture his lung to drain 700 milliliters of blood and pus out of it. And I saw him. I thought I saw him crash. I thought he was going to die. Like, I was in the hospital when this happened. And I'm like, it wasn't the injury. It was the shot.
Yeah.
That did that to him, because we have the same DNA and the same things that not that severe, but similar things have happened to me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
That is
oh my
crazy.
gosh. So just medications and all that stuff are terrible for me.
Yes. Even weather. I have a super sensitivity to weather, but hold on. I'm going to catch up with the travel sheet real quick. Jason said, I just spent 2 weeks eating breakfast at hotels. I'm just trying to forget about the many things that probably weren't good. I know it's hard because even when you're out and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to get like the burgers with no patty, or, you know, if it's like a breakfast place, I'll get the bacon, eggs, sausage, whatever, but still, what are they cooking it in? And is it even real eggs? You know, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. If anybody popped in here and I did not see you, I'm so sorry. And MOL, let's see. MOL said, if it happens again, go out and come back in. Oh, StreamYard has been weird. Oh, are you talking about the sound issue?
Oh, so can I pop out? Will you let me back in if I try that?
Yeah.
Because my sound is not good. Okay, hold on. I'm going to just remove. Wait. Okay, I'm just going to.
And then I guess the thing will pop back up when she comes back. I'm going to keep keeping up with the chat. Let's see. I don't think so for me. I've gotten more sensitive. Boop.
Okay.
Better? Okay. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's not better, but okay, I can hear you.
All right, Jesse. Oh, I think this is when we were talking about, did it start when we were kids? She said, I don't think so for me. I've gotten more sensitive since started getting the vestibular migraines. Oh, yeah, that makes sense too. Man, what do those migraines feel like, Jesse? I will say that, can you guys hear me? Also, because the washer is filling up with water, and I hope that it's not like super loud right now, but what do those headaches feel like? Because after one of the times when I'll say my major concussion, the most serious one that I've had, ever since that one, when something jolts me, like, you know, a high intense moment, or if I maybe didn't get enough sleep or really high stress, whatever, it feels like the back of my head inside is on fire. Like, always the best way I can think to describe what my head feels like, especially at the back bottom of my head, is like somebody pouring water on electronics, and everything's like sparking and burning out. That's what it feels like inside of my head. Is that what those headaches feel like, Jesse, that you have, or your migraines? That sounds terrible. Oh, and Jason said, oh, and I can't eat cilantro, but that's a whole other thing. I feel like, okay, Jason, I feel like that is along the lines of the spinach thing, where people probably, I don't know if anyone has actually like verbally said something to you, but I feel like that's one of those things where somebody could at least think like it's cilantro, you know, like it. There's no way that someone can't handle cilantro. Just like with me, with spinach, I just can't. I don't know why. And then also other, Amy, how do you handle like almonds, pecans, macadamia nuts? Do you handle all that stuff fine? Because that causes inflammation for me too.
I think so. I mean, I did for 7 years, but you know, I was able to use almond flour. I was able to I would eat nuts. I would eat the mixture of the salted nuts from Costco. So I forget what's in there. I think macadamia nuts. I forget what's all in the Costco mix salted nuts. But here's the deal. Like this spring, I started not to feel well, the menopause thing. So now I've cut all of that out of my diet. All of it. And when I first started keto 8 years ago, I was eating spinach daily. Like spinach, I would eat spinach salads. Like that was my jam. And
me too.
I don't know if I would wilt the spinach. I would eat it raw. I mean, whatever. I was eating, I don't know why I thought it was healthy. But I've cut all of that out. I don't do the nuts. I'm not even eating cheese right now. And what scares me the most about that is I'm a cheese addict. Like,
oh my gosh,
cheese addict over sugar addict. And so I'm scared to just try some, because you know what's going to happen now that I've eliminated all of this out of my diet? If I go to eat something, I'm going to swell up like a balloon and not even realize that I was allergic to that. And so now I'm afraid to eat cheese because I'm afraid to find out that
I know. I would say when I started to add cheese back in, I made sure it was raw. And I did like 2 slices, and then I left it at that. And I actually handled it okay when I started adding that back in. I am learning that I have to use I can have heavy whipping cream, but not as much as I would like to, which is, it sucks, but at least I'm learning this part. But I started out the same way, where I was eating tons of spinach, and it was all just, you know, your like typical clean keto type of stuff. And at first I thought it was like the most amazing thing, which makes perfect sense because I went straight from standard American diet to clean keto. So of course I felt like amazing, and I thought, oh my gosh, there's no way I could ever possibly feel better than this. But after I don't know if you noticed this as well, but it's like going from the way I felt for years, which was horrible, to feeling so much better from keto. That was awesome. But then after a while of that, and you still notice, okay, I still kind of have some pains. I still kind of have some inflammation. I still kind of have whatever. And then is that the point where you kind of started to adjust things? Because that's what I did. I'm like, okay, I'm really trying to listen to my body. And when I say that, I mean it in like a very humble, honest way. Not like, man, I feel like I need some sugar. I feel like my blood sugar is too low. I need to go get Krispy Kreme. Like, obviously, no. That is not my body telling me something that I need. But I don't know. I've always kind of been very in tune with my body. So when I'm eating something, I feel like, okay, I think this is the thing that's causing the problem. So I'm not going to eat these nuts anymore. I'm not going to eat the spinach anymore. I do so much better with carnivore. And I'm glad that menopause
Well,
kicked in so early, because I probably wouldn't have switched to carnivore if it did. That's why I started it, for healing.
well, and I'm feeling so much. I mean, okay, so going back to 2020, I had boundless energy until 2020. We all know what happened in 2020. I got the pokey, and then I got the actual virus 7 times. 5
Oh my
confirmed. The
gosh.
2 other times I got it, was because my mother-in-law, who's in a nursing home, tested positive, and I got sick the same time she did because I take care of her. So I'm like, it's the same thing she has. So she was positive, so I'm like, I'm positive. So 7 times I had it, and the long symptoms of energy, like, I don't know if that's a real thing or not, but all I know is things changed after 2020 for me. Like,
I
and
bet.
then after the pokey, I got sick every month and a half for 2 years. So and it wasn't just all the virus, it was flu, it was RSV, it was
Oh my
like
gosh.
every 2 months I was getting sick. So then I never had that same energy that I had the first 3 years from 2018 to or 20 the first 2 years, 28. Like, I had boundless energy when I first started keto. I'm like bouncing off the walls. And then after 2020, like, I'm like, oh, they were putting me on B12. They were trying to give me stuff to boost my energy. And it was just no good. And I never got back. Like, now, what I will say, it all came to a head this spring when I felt paralyzed, like I couldn't move. Now, I think also menopause is kicking in. So I got that working against me, and I know because I'm having hot flashes. So I'm like, okay. So in basically June of this year, I'm like, okay, I gotta take this to the next level. It's been 7 years. I haven't had that amazing feeling like I did in 2018 through 2020, but I'm also getting older. So that's when I decided to go carnivore. And just by making that one simple change, it's not perfect, okay? But I don't feel like can't get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, I still get times when I'm tired and I'm exhausted, but now I'm finding I can't sit still again. Like, my husband literally yelled at me during the Notre Dame football game last weekend because these curtain rods that needed to be put up were sitting over here, and I couldn't just sit my butt on the couch and watch football with him. And he's like, "You can't just sit here and watch football. You always have to be doing something." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this energy might be coming back, and I just don't realize it because I can't sit still."
That's
So
awesome.
that's happening. Now, the downside is, and maybe this is menopause, maybe it's oxalate dumping. Maybe you can help me figure this out. But my knees are hurting since I started carnivore, both of them. Like, just that joint, just my knees. And I don't feel like I have a
Interesting.
problem with them. They're puffy and they hurt. And it's like, what is this? So maybe
Crazy.
it's
And it's
menopause
only
giving me weird aches and pains, or maybe I'm dumping
I-
oxalates and that's where it's presenting itself. But it's been 85 days since I went strict carnivore.
and your
Not
knees have been
spices.
hurting like the whole entire time?
Yeah. And at first I
Weird.
thought it was just one knee. First it was just the right knee, but now my left knee's starting to hurt too. And I'm like, okay, what are the chances I injured both knees? 0, unless I had an accident, which I didn't have. So my right knee's worse, but it's happening in my left knee too. And it's just that joint. I don't feel pain anywhere else. And my hip is usually the place I feel pain because that's where I've had all my surgeries. But isn't that the strangest? And
Maybe
I'm
it
like
has something
trusting
to
the
do with
process.
that, because I will say that, like, okay, I have hip dysplasia. Oh yeah, that's another thing, which after I catch up with the chat, I'll go on with that thing to see if we also have that in common. But I noticed that during the times where I'm strengthening things, or like even after I got those new shoes that I got that actually keep my feet the way they're supposed to be, my knees did hurt for a while, but I think it's because stuff was finally starting to line up like it was supposed to. And I think that it was just my joints adjusting because they have been not set correctly for all this time. So now that things are getting stronger and more healthy, I don't know if this even makes sense. This is just an idea that I have. Like maybe things got a little more painful before they stopped being painful because they're actually set the way it's supposed to be now, and my body has to adjust to it. That's the only thing I can think of, which I could be totally wrong, but yeah, that is so interesting.
Isn't that weird though? And I'm not like running to the orthopedic surgeon. I'm like, this is not anything. I mean, this is not anything that requires, I don't think it requires seeing a doctor, because I'm like, this is something my body's reacting to, and there's fluid on my knees. And I truly believe over time it will go away on its own. Now, maybe I'm wrong because I'm not a doctor, but
Do you do
I'm
like,
like,
do you do
this
very
is
much? Well, are you still doing all the walking and everything?
no, I need to. But the coaching class is really like taking all of my time outside of work, and live stream and YouTube. It takes a lot of time. So I need to get back into the walking.
Were
Um,
were
because I
you
think
walking that
that
much
helps.
before you set your challenge for yourself?
It was
Were you
hurting
already
during the challenge. It was hurting
okay?
during
I
the
was gonna
challenge.
say, I wonder if maybe it's that it was like your body wasn't used to that much, but I don't know if that's what it could be.
It could
That
be. It could be. Now, when I take in a leave, and I don't like to take that kind of stuff all the time, but when I take a leave, it totally takes the pain away. Whereas most people with orthopedic issues, when you take in a leave, it might take a little bit of the edge off, but if you have a true orthopedic issue, in my experience with orthopedic issues, and I have them, uh, like I would take a leave and it wouldn't even touch the pain. When I take a leave, it takes away, like I feel like it's swelling or something weird going on in my knees, like, and it totally takes it away, like it's gone. So like a couple times a week I'll take in a leave just
just to ease it up a little bit.
see.
That is so interesting. Okay, I'm gonna catch up with this real quick. Motivated one legger said, I have another amputee friend who's allergic to silicone. That's horrible because that's what our liners are made of. You have to have a liner in order to wear one of these legs. That sucks. Do they not have like alternative things? I mean, it seems like I remember even working in medical offices and stuff, we had two different kinds of gloves, just in case somebody had an allergic reaction to the latex that we were using or whatever. So that sucks. Like, what happens to your friend? Does he just have to deal with it? Jason said, never had a flu shot. Frank's Tracks. Hi, thanks for being here. Sorry, I know you came in here a little bit ago. But thank you for being here. Let's see. He said, my cousin died 1 week after the vaccine, and he was totally healthy and never got COVID. That's just terrible. I hate that. Papa Carnivore, hi. I saw your that was you, right? Papa Carnivore, that's the newest superhero, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Makes me want to eat a steak every time I watch one of those things because he's like covered in them.
And Peter, yours turned out amazing. I think you look like this. Someone said you look like the Hulk, only like a T-bone.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, there he goes right there. Take one guess what T-Bone Titan is eating for dinner right now. Ooh, that sounds so good. Steak. Yum. That's like the best thing. Jason said, I have the soap weed gene. At least it's pretty common, so most people know about it. I have no idea what that is. The soap weed gene? What does that mean? Okay, Jesse said, for me, the head pain can be anywhere except my forehead. Oh, it's just sharp or throbbing pain, not usually a burning fire sensation, but usually it triggers or comes with increased dizziness or vertigo. And I can also get a visual aura before the head pain begins, but not always. Ugh, that sounds so uncomfortable. I don't have vertigo issues frequently, but man, especially Jesse, after talking to you and just thinking of anybody who has to deal with vertigo all the time, I just feel so bad for you guys because it's terrible. I can't imagine having to deal with that every day.
Okay, the soapweed gene, I'm pretty sure, is the gene that makes cilantro taste like soap when you eat it. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but my brother cannot eat cilantro. But anyway, I just realized what that was, I think.
Oh, Papa Carnivore said, don't do it, Amy. I think he's telling you don't eat cheese.
Eventually, it's probably going to happen. Sorry. Maybe not. I can't find what it is right now.
Say? You will never realize just how bad you actually felt until you start feeling good. Oh my gosh, that's so true. That is so true. And then it's like almost hard to believe. Like this is how I lived. This was my everyday life. How miserable. And then, yeah, just yeah. Let's see. Have a good evening. Okay, Henry is probably long gone by now, but if you are still listening, bye and thank you for being here. Oh, let's see. Oh, this thing just keeps jumping around the chat. Oh, Twin Brook Acres. Hi, thanks for being here. And One Man in Japan. Hi, you guys. Hello, while
I love that name.
Taking a break. One Man in Japan. Yeah, that's a fun channel. Okay, good morning from Tokyo. Still half asleep, just listening. Yo, Kendra, wake up. Let's see. I just am afraid to click because I know the chat's going to just like and jump up really quick. Everybody's saying hi. Dropping channel links. Hey, Karma. Hey, Kendra and guests. Can't chat. I've got a brand new 1-day-old kitten I'm trying to feed, but listening in. Oh, I saw pictures, Karma. So cute. Thank you for being here. All right, Papa Carnivore said, I'm nearly 1,000 days carnivore, and I've gotten sick one time. Got the flu about 1.5 years ago for a week. Haven't had even a sniffle otherwise in 2.5 years. I actually was thinking about that earlier today. Then I'm like, I don't remember the last time I was actually sick. Like, there are a few times where it almost feels like my body's trying to get sick. Like it's there, and then it just goes away. Like I can't remember the last time that I was actually sick, which is crazy because before I started eating this way, it was about every 6 weeks that my husband was buying a bunch of Mucinex and I was in bed for a few days. I mean, it was like 6 to 8 weeks around the clock. I was in bed because I would just constantly be sick all the time.
So I caught a cold like 6 weeks into carnivore. But even 6 weeks in, it was like the first month, just over the first month. But even then, I feel like I had 2 really bad days. And normally, like, colds would take me 2 weeks to get over. It was 7 days or less. And only 2 really bad days. And I got through it like better than I normally would.
That's awesome. I notice also that healing from like a bruise or something. I feel like a werewolf. I don't know. Because, like on the movies, a werewolf gets a scratch and all of a sudden it's like healed up in no time. That's what I feel like. It's like, it really is like being a superhero. the AI things that you do, it really does feel like that. Like, just, it feels really good. But Papa Carnivore Amy is saying that your knees hurting is definitely oxalate dumping. He said, according to the expert on oxalates, Sally L. Norton, you can experience oxalate dumping for as much as 5 to 10 years.
Well, and menopause also causes that too.
Yeah.
So,
I know. when I when I was going into it, and then I was really digging into what am I dealing with here, and I was like, how long is this gonna last? Like, I don't want to do this for that long. I don't want to do this for that long. And truly, if I didn't do carnivore, there is no way that I would be able to be getting through this. I just felt not like I just felt like such a stranger in my own skin because I'm just so I don't know. I truly am, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I hate drama and I'm not dramatic at all. I'm super laid back. I truly am that person. So when I started to feel like agitated for pretty much no reason at all, and then I would like start crying, and then I would be angry. My temper was super short. I'm like, who is this? Like, what the heck is going on? And then that head to toe stupid rash that broke out that I had for weeks and weeks. Then I felt like I was going to just lose my mind because I couldn't sleep. So it was just weeks of no sleep because of the rash. It was terrible. I'm glad it's at least not that bad, but I know that if I, like when I start to try to test things out, like, okay, can I handle this keto type thing? I noticed that that is one of my sure signs when I cannot handle something else that I'm trying to add back in, is that I start to feel really agitated again. It's like screwing up my hormones, I guess. So I'm like, I'm just going to stick to carnivore, which I'm perfectly fine with. I am happy with the foods that I eat. I don't get bored with the foods. I feel so much better. Like, this is the healthiest I've ever been. But yeah. Oh, hey, Kristen. But yeah, it's like a monster in there. I don't like menopause. I don't like it.
So I think I'm going to have to be going carnivore strict for longer than I expected, because I'm dealing with an interesting scenario that happens, but I think it's rare because I lost so much weight on keto without going carnivore. I got really thin, but I was also doing protein sparing modified fasting, which for all intents and purposes, that is low fat, low calorie. So I have gained 20 pounds on carnivore. And I freaked out at first, but then I followed Kelly Hogan and Bella from Steak and Butter Girl. And they both were restrictive eaters before they went carnivore. And I don't know if you know who Bella, Steak and Butter Girl is. She's very thin, and so is Kelly Hogan. Yeah. And they both gained like 35 pounds. And then after 6 months, they started to lose again. I'm like, well, that means I'm going to have to be strict for longer, because I think what happened is I pushed, and you're a coach, so you could probably coach me on this, but I pushed my metabolism down so far, and now I'm eating this so much fat that my body, the metabolism needs to raise up to be able to handle that much fat. And I think that's what's causing me to gain my weight. So,
I will say that
I did freak out for just a few moments.
What'd she say?
I don't know what you think about that, but yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that when I, like, in the middle of that rash that I had all over my body, I tried to do carnivore for 30 days, and I was like, well, carnivore must not be the thing that's gonna help it, because I still, am dealing with this horrible thing. There were a little bit of improvements, but not much. It took finally saying, okay, I'm going to do it for 90 days instead of 30. 30 days was just simply not enough time for my body to do what it needed to do, especially being, maybe it's like because of having the like ultra sensitivities like we have, where it's just going to take a whole lot longer to heal, a whole lot longer to fix things. And Jason was always so encouraging and motivating. Every time I would talk about this, he would just be like, throw that scale out and healing before weight loss. And it was just always such encouragement that I needed. But it wasn't until like pretty much close to the 90 days before before stuff actually started to go down. And I was like, what the heck? I am strict carnivore for like, I'm going on like 2.5 months now, and everything is exactly the same. I seriously think our bodies it just takes so much time to adjust. But
Well,
yeah. And also, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I don't remember who it was, but someone in one of Jason's live streams, or I think the last time I was on a live with Jason, they asked if I was eating, like if maybe I was having too much fat, and maybe that's the reason why my weight was doing what it was. And at first I was thinking, no, I mean, I have like the meat, I have the butter, I have whatever, I have butter with it. But that question that made me look at labels to be like, you know what, am I eating too much fat right now? Because I know that my body, I still have some excess fat. So clearly I have enough fat my body can work on. If I'm consuming every bit of fat that my body is burning up, then it's never going to burn the fat that's on my body because it's just burning up what I'm eating. So I looked at the hamburger patties the hamburger that we started to get. We just switched. And I was like, holy crap. I think that he was right, because the hamburger that we were getting, the hamburger patties, they were much more lean. And the stuff that we switched over to was way higher fat content. And then I was also adding like beef tallow and butter to it. And I was like, oh crap, I didn't realize this. So when I was like, okay, these hamburger patties already have a lot of fat, I just won't add butter this time. And when I started to change that, adjusting the amount of fat that I was taking in, that did start to help with the weight loss part. So I was glad that somebody said that, because it just made me think, maybe I need, like, am I having too much? It just made me look a little bit closer. So I don't know. I don't know if it's that. I don't know.
And I'm wondering if that's my issue too, because everyone's like, you need to increase your fat. So I did. And then like Bella and Kelly eat so much fat. I mean, I feel like I've seen Bella just eat sticks of butter, and she's like very thin Asian person. And it's just like,
I know. When I thought about that too, especially when I was really looking at the hormone part of stuff and healing. I'm like, okay, I really need to increase my fat. And I did the exact same thing that you did. And I was looking at those exact same two people, and I was like, they eat so much fat. But then I had to stop and think, which I don't think you have as much excess fat. I don't even know if you have any excess fat. I know that for sure I do. But I had to remind myself, like, their bodies may handle the amount of fat that they eat, because our bodies handle things so differently. And like, I imagine the smaller I get, the more amount of fat I'll be able to eat, because my body will have less fat. So, it will be whatever. But so I reminded myself of that, like, okay, especially with Bella, because I'm like, she eats so much fat, but she also has like pretty much no fat. So she can eat that much fat. If I eat that much fat, my body's just going to burn the fat that I'm consuming, and it's never going to get to a point of touching the excess fat on my body, because I'm just eating so much. So that's something that I had to remind myself, and then I just kind of adjusted from there. And where I am now, the amount of fat that I'm eating now seems to be working, because every week I'm losing about a pound a week right now. But it took being carnivore for, I would say I'm around, I don't know, like maybe 130 days or something like that now. So it took that long before weight actually started to just like steadily come off. So it's just now starting to come off, but I'm just trying to adjust the things that I eat and my exercise and all that. It is a process.
When did you start carnivore?
I'm trying to remember. Okay, I think I started in June. I think it was in June when I said, okay, I'm going to do strict carnivore for 90 days. And then after the 90 days, I was like, I'm going to start to try to add things back in. And that's when I realized, nope, I'm just going to have to be carnivore forever because this is seriously the way that makes me feel the best. I will say, there was a day where I made a keto cheesecake, and I handled that fine. I think that it's because it was it practically is carnivore. It's like mostly cream cheese and then a little bit of stevia or whatever. And I handled that fine. But I still think that if I ate that like days in a row, I would start to have inflammation and feel like crap again. So I think that I'm to a point where my cheat meals will have to be keto. That's as far as I can branch out, I think, because that's just what my body can handle. So,
well, and I have another thing that's going to throw a loop for me. It's in the event. So I just found out today I'm having surgery in 2 weeks.
what?
Another surgery. Yeah. And I was going to avoid it at all costs, but so I thought I had a cyst, right, in my abdomen. It's what I originally thought it was, which is a hernia. I have a hernia. And you have to get those. There's no way to fix those other than surgery. And I'm like, okay, let's just do it now because I met my deductible. It's not going to cost me anything. But I'm like, I just had a realization. I have come so far in my healing process that having another abdominal surgery is going to set me back. And that's going to suck every ounce of healing I'm going to need. Now, it's a good thing I'm carnivore because carnivore will help me heal better from that. But I'm like, that's going to delay my carnivore healing. Probably it's going to set me back. Let's just put it that way, because my body's going to be focused on that, the surgery, and anesthesia messes me up for like a year. So, because, it's an external drug. Anesthesia is like, it's funny because I like start crying for like 6 months. I will be emotional wreck. So don't watch my live streams for the next 6 months after 2 weeks. I'm probably going to be bawling like a baby, but I just realized that having that is going to set me back from weight loss, healing, because I'm now going to be focusing, my body's going to be putting all the energy into that. So
maybe are you planning to have like, I mean, and I actually am really interested. I'm such a nerd. I would so be using this as like it's like a science experiment. I'm like, okay, if all I have is like, whatever foods you're able to handle, bone broth and, ground beef and butter, and that's like all you do. And then probably, I don't know how you feel after surgeries. I know that I never have an appetite. So maybe like some fasting thrown in there. I wonder how fast, like, I wonder if that type of stuff would make your doctors be like, holy crap, you're like way farther along in healing than we would expect at this point. I don't know. I hope it doesn't
curious to
set
see
you
how
back.
it goes. I'm curious to see how. Here's the other funny thing. So I go to meet with the surgeon today, right? Because that's where my doctor sent me. And the surgeon is located, he's a bariatric surgeon, and he's located in a weight loss management clinic. So I'm sitting there in a waiting room, and they have all these products on the shelf, like shakes, cookies, like for weight loss, that these people go to this clinic. And I'm like, I'm all about this, man. So I'm going through the boxes and I'm turning them over, reading the labels. I almost wanted to take pictures of them to make content, but I'm like, no, I don't want to get kicked out of here. So I'm going through and I'm like, man, that's too high in carbs. That's got this in it. And I'm like, these people go to these bariatric clinics. And I'm like, he better not accidentally do bariatric surgery on me instead of hernia repair, because I will be really mad. But yeah, I was just turning over all of the products, and I'm like, 13 grams of carbs for one shake. I'm like, I don't even try to eat that many carbs in one day, let alone
I know
in one shake, you know?
Yeah. I will say that I tried the is it Equip Prime protein powder, I think is what it is. I tried I did the chocolate one because monk fruit, I cannot handle it. Monk fruit causes so much inflammation in my gut. It is horrible. But I did the chocolate one, which I believe just uses stevia, cocoa powder, and then the beef, whatever, protein powder. And I'm handling that fine, which I love because it's nice if I want like something cold or something a little bit sweet without feeling like crap afterwards. So if you were looking at maybe getting a protein shake or something,
Well,
that
and
could be an
I'm
option.
a keto chow affiliate. And so since I've gone carnivore, they have a core line that doesn't have any sweetener in it at all. Now, the premise of that is that you can add your own sweetener to it. So you can buy their core line of shakes. They have other shakes that have stevia in them and other sweeteners. I think sucralose, but they have a core line, and I've actually put a tablespoon of their chocolate into like one of my coffees just to see it without any sweetener, just to see if I can once in a while have a little bit of chocolate flavoring without sweetener in my coffee with protein. And that actually turned out really well.
Okay.
But I do have a ton of keto chow here. So I may, after surgery, I may have a little bit of the keto chow just because it might be easier and it's not like a full meal, you know, it's a meal replacement, but so we'll see. Who knows? But the bone broth, definitely for sure. But yeah, I don't usually feel good for a few days after surgery or feel like eating.
Oh yeah. And it's hard because you have to, or gosh, when was the last surgery I had was I think 2018. And my husband had to like force me to eat something so that I wouldn't throw up from taking the pain medication. Ugh. I feel so I
Was
hate I hate that you have to.
was that your hysterectomy?
Yeah.
That was my last surgery in 2021 too. And so I'm like, the abdominal surgery just was like, and of course, this is an abdominal surgery, right? And I had the hysterectomy with the Da Vinci robot. So it was a robotic surgery, which is supposed to be better than traditional surgery. But I was like, so at that time, my son and my 2 grandkids were living with me, the little babies. And
Oh.
apparently I was screaming so loud after that surgery. My son and the grandbabies had to go to a hotel room because they didn't want to hear me. Just that night, like when the pain block was wearing off, I was making noises. And so I'm like, if this is anything like that,
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
even want to have the surgery. I don't. But I called my brother who also had a hernia surgery and his was robotic and this is going to be robotic. And he's like, look, he's like, after 3 days, I was mowing my lawn. I'm like, okay, that's what I want to hear.
Oh, that sounds terrible. I'm just feeling for you. Those were times where I'm like, who knew that when you sneeze, you start to think, oh my gosh, I've taken painless sneezes for granted all my life because it just hurts so bad. Sneezing, coughing, having to sit up, all of it. Horrible. You
Yep.
said that's in 2 weeks, your surgery?
What?
You said your surgery is in 2 weeks?
It's on, October 20th. How many weeks is that?
Oh,
It's 2 or 3 weeks.
yeah, like
Yeah,
three? 3?
it's 3 weeks. Yeah, October
Oh.
20th. They scheduled it fast. I could have gone next week. I'm not ready. I could have gone on the 6th. I'm not ready.
Oh, that sucks. Even if it was a cyst, man. Okay, that's something else. Okay. Were you also the kid who there was always something? Like I was the one who was always hurt. I always had some kind of infection. I was like lactose intolerant for a little while as a kid, so I had to drink soy milk, which was horrible. Shut up. My husband's like, you were fat, which is true. Anyway, but my when I was in, man, all my stuff started to get worse, I think, when the passing out stuff started, which is when I turned 13. And that also is when, I don't know if this is like too much information for some of you people. I don't know. I feel like we're all adults here. So I didn't start my period till I was 13. Everything got way worse for me after that point. But I would have a cyst on my ovaries all like on a regular basis. I don't know. Like my periods were never regular, which they said that was normal because I was playing basketball. So they're like, you know, most athletic people don't. So then they put me on birth control to regulate it, which just knowing what I know now, I'm like, what? You just freaking throw pills at everything.
They do.
Anyway, oh, it's so frustrating. So, but I remember the cyst that I had all the time. I remember when I was 15, I was like bawling in the hospital because the doctor took my mom out and I could still hear him. And he was like, she's not going to be able to have kids. And I was like devastated because I was not the, people would always refer to me as like having an old soul and, you know, those types of things. I was never the one to be like, I can't wait to turn 21 so I can go out and party and whatever. I was like so excited to fall in love and start a family and take care of babies. And like, so when the doctor said that, like, she's not going to be able to have kids, because I've apparently had so many cysts on my ovaries that it was just like, there's no way. Which obviously we've heard a lot of things from doctors. And I mean, here I am 4 kids later. So thank God that wasn't a thing. But were you also like that, where you were like the kid who always had a thing?
Well, so just so you know, like I never had my own kids. So I've never had a baby. But yeah, when I was a kid, they would always call me the girl in the bubble kind of thing, like, cause you know, I was allergic to everything, like external. And now that I know internal, I didn't know about all the internal stuff until
Yeah.
keto, but like, I would just break out, you know. Oh, and then I had like, I had an allergist at 9 years old. They would, you know, my mom had to start taking me and they would put drops on my back of things like the allergy test. They would put 100 drops on there and 99 of them swelled up.
Oh
I
my
still
God.
don't remember what the one thing I'm not allergic to. Oh, the other thing. Here's the other thing. Pillows. Okay. Pillows and mattresses, right? Dust. So I was allergic to down, so I couldn't have anything with down in it, which I don't think they make anything in down anyway, because that's like feathers. But they also used to make my parents wrap my mattress in plastic and my pillows in plastic. And so I was always waking up and the sheets were off and I was sticking to the mattress, or I would drool and my pillowcase would come off the pillow and my face would be stuck to the plastic because I was so allergic to the mattresses and the pillows
Oh,
that
that
they had
sounds
to wrap everything in
horrible.
plastic before I could even sleep on it as a kid. Because dust mites. I'm allergic to dust mites. And cats. And I have 4 cats.
Oh
That would be
yeah.
like saying, Kendra, you're allergic to kids, but you had 4 of them. But I have 4
I'm
cats
very
now.
allergic. Oh yeah.
Actually, I do
Allergic to
fine
so
with
many
them.
things.
And yeah.
Allergies for everything. We used to play in the rain all the time because I don't know, we were always out in the woods playing, building forts, catching animals and reptiles and all other kinds of things. But when we would play in the rain, I would break out in hives. I don't know if it's because of the, you know, everything that's like being kicked up because of the water, the rain, you know, coming down or whatever, just stuff in the woods. I would break out in hives for that. I'm trying to think of all the things being allergic. I stepped into the ocean. There was a time where I was like screaming. I remember I couldn't be in the ocean water. My mom was like, she's allergic to the ocean. So, because allergic to everything. That I
Are you
never had to
allergic
have
to
plastic on my
shellfish?
stuff. No.
Can you eat shrimp or shellfish?
Uh, I don't really eat very much seafood. Well, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I think the last time I had any kind of shrimp was like probably like the butterfly shrimp or something from Long John Silver's, and that had to be so many years ago. I'm trying to remember if there's anything specific that I felt. I know that when I eat nutmeg, it makes my mouth, like my tongue starts to burn. Then my lips go numb. I cannot have any kind of nutmeg. I always know. So people would always be like, oh, try these oatmeal raisin cookies. And then it would be so bad. The plastic
I don't
on
think
the
I'm
bedding,
quite
though.
as sensitive as you.
I don't know, because you had to have a plastic bed.
On my
That's pretty
mattress
bad.
and pillows, but I'm curious too. I'm curious, and maybe you'll have to have me back on after I try this. And I don't know when it's going to be because now I've got the surgery thing. But I'm curious because I've just recently eliminated all spices, right? Except for salt. So I'm curious, like this fall, which it is kind of fall now, but like when the weather gets cold, I like to have chili, like keto chili, like with meat in it and a little bit of zucchini. So I'm curious to know if I can make my chili and put chili powder in there and onion powder, garlic powder, and maybe try that. Am I
It makes
going to have some fierce reaction because I've cut all spices out,
probably.
I'm
I did
scared.
the exact thing. I made I don't remember. I think I was making nachos or something for everybody. And I was like, I'm going to try to eat the meat this time. So that's what I use. I use salt, cayenne, chili powder, onion powder, garlic powder. And I felt so crappy. And I was like, really? Just from the seasonings? Like, I even made, because I am also really sensitive. Like, I cannot handle red sauces like the pizza sauce or marinara, spaghetti sauce. The red sauces cause so much inflammation. And when I would make homemade chili, I noticed when I was keto, I'm like, oh, I feel so inflamed. So then I started to make a keto chili, except instead of using any type of tomato stuff, I used heavy whipping cream. And I made it like that to make it chili. And I handled it a lot better. I don't even think I can handle that now though, because of the spices, because I've gone so long without them, and I'm feeling so good without it. And thank you, John. Can't stay long stopping by to say, hey, thank you so much. So nice. I don't know. I'm so nervous for you. I'm not saying don't try it, because I always think it's good to try the things, so then we know, can I handle this? Can I not handle it? And then also sometimes, like something that I'm learning right now is like, okay, like with the cheese, I know that I can handle like 2 slices and I'm okay. But if I go on and I try to go crazy with it, which I do because I love it, and I do like 4 slices of cheese, because cheese is like, well, and then I feel like crap, and I'm like, dang it, I know it's because I had too much cheese, and then I'm like clearing my throat a bunch, and mucus is all building up and whatever. But yeah, I am interested to know. And whenever I have you back on, when you're feeling okay, even if you're still in the crying a lot phase, I will be happy to have you back on.
At least I know that about myself though. And so the
Yeah.
last surgery I had, the last surgery I had, apparently, because I do horribly with anesthesia. That's the other thing that makes me really sick, like vomity sick. Like, so I finally found a general anesthesia that works for me. It's called Reglan. Reglan? Maybe that's the anti-nausea medication. But the last anesthesiologist I gave switched up the anesthesia he gave me to not make me as nauseous, and I was great. And so I just remember coming out of surgery, and the nurse goes, "Do you remember what you said?" I'm like, "No." She goes, "You're like, doctor, whatever his name was, you're my homeboy." I just kept saying, "You're my homeboy," because he gave me the anesthesia that didn't make me sick, and I was screaming it. This was after my hysterectomy. I was waking up screaming, "You're my homeboy, doctor." She goes, "You don't remember
Oh.
that?" I'm like, "No." So I do
Oh,
like
wait.
embarrassing stuff too when I come out.
Apparently, I
Anesthesia or
was trying.
something.
Okay, wait. Maybe the last time, which I don't know if this really counts. Oh, I had my another thing. I used to get strep throat all the time. Like I had strep throat and tonsillitis all like every single year as a kid, sometimes twice a year. And then when I was in my early 20s, I had it so bad. I seriously felt like I was dying. It was so bad that my tonsils were like pressed against each other, and the back of my mouth was like purple and black. I mean, it was bad, bad, bad. And then still I was getting it all the time. So I can't remember if that was actually my last surgery. But I had my tonsils removed because the doctor was like, "You're so damaged. I mean, this is just these don't look right." I'm like, "Well, I used to get strep throat like all the time and tonsillitis all the time." But I guess when I came out of that anesthesia, I was like trying to talk to people with letters. Like I lied. And I remember one guy was like, I don't know sign language. Like I don't know what she's trying to do, because one of the nurses asked me, do you feel okay? Is your pain bad?" And I was like nodding, trying to tell her I feel like I don't have pain. And then I started to cry, and I was trying to tell her with letters. I lied. And I was like, trying to tell her it does hurt. I'm trying to be tough. And they're like, "Okay, we'll get you some pain pills." But I get emotional too. I don't know if it lasts as long as yours does, but I usually cry when I'm coming out of anesthesia.
Yeah, it takes me 6 months to get over the effects of anesthesia. That's why I did not go into this lightly, but when they said it's a hernia, I'm like, I'm gonna have to have surgery at some point. You can't, it's dangerous to let those go and get bigger. So I'm like, might as well just get it over with. I guess this better be my last surgery. But it's interesting you talk about the tonsils and being sick all the time. So I was supposed to have my adenoids and tonsils out when I was like around the same age, 9 is when they started diagnosing me with all the allergies. But the doctor told my parents it was risky and there was like a 50% chance that something bad could go. So they never took them out. So I constantly had mine was sinus infections, like over and over. And
Yeah.
eventually that led to me having what I think was trigeminal neuralgia from a sinus infection. The pain never went away that's when I had my brain surgery when I was like 25. So today, literally, they asked me all these surgeries that I've had. I'm like, "How long do you have to talk about this?" I told the nurse, I'm like, "We're going to be here all day if I talk about all my surgeries."
Oh,
So
let's
that was the
see.
funny story from today. I'm like, "How long do you have?"
Papa Carnivore said, "Amy, I had a bunch of sebaceous cysts on my arms and legs, just under the skin, like bumps, and they're all gone. Maybe wait to see if the cyst reduces or shrinks before you decide to
Yeah,
take it out. Just a thought.
it's not
Is
a
it
cyst.
benign?"
Yeah. He confirmed that it looks like a cyst on imaging, but based on the location, it's an inguinal hernia. He said that's not a cyst. He said it's not a cyst, so it's not gonna go away. A hernia won't repair itself, unfortunately, from keto carnivore or anything else. So it's a hernia, not a cyst. It just the person who did the imaging put on the imaging report that it was a fluid-filled cyst, and he named it. It was called a hydrocele of the canal of Nuck. Is what he called it. And when I went to see the surgeon, he's like, "That's a hernia." He's like, "You have a hernia." So I don't I have heard, and you may have heard this too, Kendra, that some people with cysts, different types of cysts, whether they're ovarian cysts or other types of cysts, they do have reversed on carnivore. And I've heard that too.
Oh yeah, um I haven't heard that, but it doesn't surprise
And
me. I mean, it's just, huh?
it's not medical advice. It's not, this isn't medical advice, but I've just heard stories that people, like what Peter said, his
Yeah.
cysts have gone away.
Oh yeah, my skin, I will say, like I can't remember the last time I had a cyst. I think they kind of stopped somewhere in my early 20s. I want to say that was like the last time that I had one. But my skin, I need to do pictures to show you guys the improvements that I have had so far with carnivore, or just to do an update at some point. My nails are way stronger. My hair is so healthy, but my skin, you guys, I was like super open about the rash. And I had pictures and it was like head to toe. So I, obviously blocked out the parts that need to be blocked out. But just to show, it wasn't from my actual head, like my ears, behind my ears, my neck, my collarbone, shoulders, all on my back, like under my boobs, all the way down to on my feet. I had pictures of all of this. And then I was looking through my phone the other day of a picture that I took. I think it actually was a picture that I took for the weight machine that I was sent to do a review on. And I looked at that and I was like, holy crap, my skin is so much better now. Like, going carnivore has helped so much with the scars. And I didn't even notice. What was it? Who was it? C.S. Lewis that said, isn't it funny how nothing ever changed, or everything's the same till you look back and then you realize, or nothing changes, you look back and realize that, I don't know, whatever it is. When I looked, I did not notice how much my skin had healed since starting carnivore. I mean, I barely have, like, you can still maybe kind of see the blemishes, I guess, on my body. But I don't even think you can see the collarbone stuff that much anymore. I just didn't realize it, how much my skin has healed from just eating carnivore. It is amazing. It has helped so much. It's better than Moderna. Is that what that scar stuff is?
Moderna, yeah. Okay, I have the quote. I think is it funny how day by day nothing changes, but when you look back, everything is different? Is that the quote?
Yes. That is what I was thinking of when I saw those pictures. I'm like, holy crap, it's like healing up my scars even. It's
Well,
awesome.
I will say I do have wrinkles, but I will say gaining the weight, my face is puffed out a little bit. So it's making the wrinkles nicer. So I guess I can't complain about that, that carnivore is helping puff my face out a little bit and take care of those wrinkles. So that's nice.
I don't even notice. You're so cute, by the way. Every time you smile, I'm like, oh my gosh, her dimples. I love it.
So I have one. I'm missing a dimple. I'm the lone dimpled ranger. I only have one dimple on this side.
The other one's missing.
Yeah, the other one's missing. I only have one. But I have wrinkles now, so maybe those look like dimples.
Oh, yeah, there you go, Ivy. Thank you so much for being here, by the way. I don't think I have seen you before, so welcome in. And yes, that is how you drop your channel link. There you go.
Yes, Ivy's from my channel.
Oh,
in my keto support group. So
thanks so much for being over here. How do you where do you have a keto support group? Is it like on Facebook or something?
it's Facebook. So that's originally how I got started. So what was happening was I lost 110 pounds, and then people started text messaging me through the day on my personal phone number. And they're like, "What are you doing? You look great. How do I do this?" Blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, I can't, I got a job. I can't like be responding to text messages all day. Right. So I'm like, how do I make this so I can post information to everyone all at the same time without having to respond to individual text messages? So in 2021, that's when I started the Facebook page. And I called it Keto Rock. Well, I called it something else. I don't even remember the name, but it was too hard to search for. So I eventually changed that to Keto Rock Stars. And then when I went to Keto Palooza last year, everyone's like, well, and I wanted it to be a closed group, like that I was only live streaming to a closed group. So I was live streaming for 2 years before I ever got on YouTube. And a bunch of people, I met people at Ketopalooza, and they're like, "Why aren't you on or why aren't you on YouTube?" I'm like, why do I need to be on YouTube? You know, that's and they're like, "You need to be on YouTube." And I'm like, now I'm kind of regretting that decision because it is a lot of work. But I just want to help people. But I guess having it in a closed group, you can help more people in an open setting. So I guess it does make sense. But so I've really only had my YouTube channel will be in existence a year in October, and it is slow. It is slow growing, which is fine. There's some people that I've met that they've been monetized in a month. And I'm like, okay,
Crazy.
I don't care about that. It's, mine's organically growing very slow, which is totally fine because I don't plan on making money on this. I will charge money for coaching, which we talked about this. I will feel
Mhm.
bad for doing that. Like, it will be very hard for me to ask for money. For coaching, but I'm gonna have to do it because that's time, it's time spent. But so that's kind of how it started, was on Facebook, because people were personally text messaging me, local people, and I thought it was just gonna be a local group. It used to be called the Michiana Keto Rock Stars. And then I started getting people joining all over the country and all over the world.
That
And
is
like
awesome.
I don't think I can call this Michiana, which is the region I live in, Indiana, Michigan, northern Michigan. Michiana is Michigan, Indiana. I'm like, I don't think I can. So I had to change it to just Keto Rock Stars. And so that's how my YouTube channel got its name, was from my Facebook group. So
I bet that's cool to have that. I know it definitely, or I would say it's helpful. I really don't have any extra social media things besides YouTube. I have a locals account, but I do like pretty much nothing on there. And then I have LinkedIn, but I bet it is nice to have because I know that it is cool to like bounce things off of people who have experienced and been at like different stages at different times. So like talking to you, talking to Jason, it's always really helpful. Or if just maybe something that you guys say, a little something, or somebody in the chat that's like, huh, I didn't think about that. And then you can like think about it and apply it or try it out or adjust things according to that. And it is really nice to have that. Are you ever in Ohio?
am I ever in Ohio, or did I never? I've lived in Mishawaka, Indiana I've lived in this region for my whole existence, but I've traveled to Ohio, and that's where my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law lived. And we brought my mother-in-law here because she's got dementia. But
No.
yeah, and I have cousins in Ohio, in Springfield. Are you in Ohio?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were in Missouri.
I used to live in Missouri some years ago.
Springfield?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. I remember us talking about that because my sister lived in Springfield briefly. And then so I have family members in Springfield, Ohio, all over the Dayton area, Middletown, Springfield, Columbus, Ohio. So I grew up, in a sense, I grew up in Ohio because I would go visit my cousins there all the time. So
We're more in the Columbus area, but it's
sorry,
not
I
that
missed that.
far. Oh, I said we're more in the Columbus area.
Columbus. Okay. Yeah, I think I have a cousin that lives in Columbus. They've kind of moved all over the place. They were all born in Springfield, and then as adults they've moved to different. I think there's trying to think of the one city my other cousin lives in. He works at the Honda plant over there somewhere. Apparently there's a big Honda plant. I can't think of the town he lives in. And then my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law were in Middletown. So I'm very familiar with Middletown, which is a little
I
further.
don't really know much. Let's see. Is there a Jack in the Box or I know we drove somewhere in that area for Papa Murphy's Pizza, which I don't think is even open anymore, and then also for a Jack in the Box. I think it was near somewhere in the Springfield, Ohio area. And then there was a time that we drove to Michigan for Del Taco. Good grief, we traveled all over the place just to eat fast food.
Oh man. If there was a Del Taco here, I'm so glad the Del Taco here in my town left, because when Del Taco was here, the other thing we had was a Moe's. Do you know what Moe's is? Moe's
yeah, we have Moe's and we have Del Taco here too now. We don't.
They are gone, thank goodness, because I don't really like. Now, we do have this local place that's similar to like a Moe's. It's called Puerto Vallarta. And before I went carnivore, I would get a bowl with meat and spices and avocado, guacamole and sour cream and cheese. And oh man, I shouldn't have brought that up because I'm kind of
this is how I feel when we start talking about Jack in the Box, because I always thought they had just the best egg rolls. When we were in Arizona, there was Jack in the Box all over the place. There's nowhere close to us. I don't think that I would be like, oh, I need a Jack in the Box egg roll, but it would just.
Egg rolls at Jack. I thought Jack in the Box was a burger joint.
Oh yeah, they have egg rolls. They're so good. But yeah, they had that. They had burgers and chicken sandwiches and salads. They also had bowls as well. Jack in the Box kind of had a lot of different things, but. Yeah. So much of our lives were based around food. Fast food, different desserts from the grocery store, all kinds of snacks. Terrible. It's crazy. I mean, it shows in the way that we looked. When I look back at pictures from us before we changed how we ate, I'm like, my skin is all scarred up. I always had some scars or pimple or something. My hair did not look great. Our faces were always like, my husband too, we always looked like we were just so puffy. My nose was wider, which I'm learning now that I think that's from insulin resistance. Like the whole shape of my face is different since changing how we eat. Is just crazy. Hey, Gloria. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Where are we at? Gloria said, oh, Kendra, I love your hair. Thanks. I didn't do anything to it tonight except just throw a headband on. Thank you. I'm so excited for it to grow back out. Most of those keto and weight loss shakes are filled with carbs, seed oils, and sugar. Oh my gosh, it's so true. When we very first started eating this way, I was getting those keto Slim Fast shakes. And then I actually started learning about ingredients and what they are and what they do to our bodies. So then when I went to go read the ingredients after learning about what everything is, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I mean, this is just, it's so much crap. It's just so much crap. Atkins shakes, all the shakes filled with so much crap.
Well, and that's not what Atkins is anyway. It really isn't.
Yeah, let's see. I did Atkins when I was 13. Wait, no. Okay, when I was 13, I did. Have you ever done the 6-week body makeover? Do you remember that diet? So that's the first diet I did. I was 13. After that, I did Atkins when I was like 13, 14-ish. And I lost weight. And I actually was feeling fine, but then I say we because I kind of just like followed around whatever diet my mom was doing. I just did that. Then we did Weight Watchers, and then I don't know. I've been on so many different diets. That's also probably another reason why the weight loss part takes forever, because my metabolism has to be so destroyed from going on so many different diets and then trying to just starve myself. So I just, like, just don't eat. Then I won't be fat or whatever.
Yeah, I did mostly calorie restriction, Slim Fast shakes. Then I got to Atkins. And then I just remember as a teenager, this goes back to volleyball, my days in volleyball, and you were an athlete too. Eating a lot of grape nuts. Do you remember the cereal grape nuts? They tasted
Yeah.
horrible, but they were supposedly fiber and healthy. I just remember eating grape nuts, and I remember eating tuna and crackers a lot to try to
Oh yeah.
diet, even as
Tuna
like a
and
teenager.
crackers for sure. And yeah, there are all these things that are like, eat this is healthy. Have some like whole grain pasta before your basketball game or before your volleyball game, on game day. Go home, have some whole grain pasta that'll keep you full, and you're going to have a good amount of energy for the game. I felt terrible. You know what I felt the best before a volleyball game? Before a basketball game? Those are pretty much the only two sports I played. I ran track for a little bit too, but the times that I felt the best during a game was when I just didn't eat. And then I went and played. And I work out better fasted now too. If I eat before I work out, I just don't feel very good at all. I work out so much better fasted.
Well, and knowing what you know about yourself too, that makes total sense because, well, and here's the thing too. Every time you put food in your mouth, even if it's healthy keto carnivore food, you're triggering an insulin response. So you're triggering a response in your body. So it makes to me sense that working out fasted, you would feel better. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just
Anyway. Yeah, it makes sense to me too.
Oh, I got to tell you what my sister did. She's probably going to get mad at me, but I don't think she's so she's a marathon runner, right? But she's been keto before I was keto. She's been keto for 20 years. Well, she's training for a marathon right now. And I don't know why she decided to do this, but all of the people that are training with her are eating Pop-Tarts before they go out and run.
What?
And she started doing it just for quick fuel. Pop-Tarts for quick fuel. And she messaged me and she's like, my knees, my joints are hurting so bad. And I'm like, yeah. So she's like, I'm going to have to find something else because I guess when you're running like marathons, that's a lot. Like,
yeah,
that's what, 26 miles or something like that. So she's like, I'm going to have to find something else to eat for quick fuel before my run. I'm like, Pop-Tarts? That's what the runners are eating now? Pop-Tarts? I thought they had these little jellies and stuff they would squirt in her mouth. Those jellies would probably be better than Pop-Tarts.
Oh my gosh.
And she's the one who taught me about keto.
Our kids are afraid of Pop-Tarts now. As we started to change how we ate, we were like teaching them as we were changing things to explain to them, okay, this is why we're switching stuff. This is what this type of food does. This is what this type of food is going to make you feel good. And this is what it does to your body. And when we started to learn about the whole natural flavors thing, my husband did all kinds of research on that. And he was telling them, like, you guys, sometimes it's like bug guts or monkey butt juice. And they're like, what? So now they don't eat candy. Every time we walk by Pop-Tarts, because Pop-Tarts, pretty much everything says natural flavors. But when they see candy or any type of like pre-made desserts, Pop-Tarts, they're always like, oh, monkey butt juice, poison. Like, whatever.
That's
if
awesome.
Monkey butt juice is what's going to keep you from eating it, then whatever. They really don't want it, which I'm so glad.
That's so good.
They don't have a desire. Every once in a while, I will make them, is it Bonza? The chickpea pasta?
Yeah.
They eat that sometimes. They seem to handle it fine. I will say that our oldest, which I think this kind of makes sense because I think like this things are changing. His hormones are changing. His metabolism, I think, is changing because he's getting older. When he eats the pasta now, he doesn't sleep very well. He's really, really hot. His hands start to get kind of puffy. So it's like, okay, now we're learning that you really can't handle this, even though it's chickpea pasta, it's supposed to be lower on the glycemic index, whatever. Now we know you really can't handle this like your brothers can. And I'm sure that as they get older, the two younger ones, I'm sure the same thing will happen to them as well. And then we'll just kind of phase it out. But I make them that every once in a while. But besides that, they are perfectly fine with keto, especially since I taught them how to make chaffles. Jason is like their favorite because he's like the chaffle king, and they love making chaffles all the time. It makes this lifestyle so much easier for them.
Chaffles are so much fun too.
Yes. You can do so much with it. And I like that for my husband too, because he really likes sweets. So if I'm making chaffles, then every once in a while I can make him some sweet ones. And then he's still kind of getting his sweet fix, and it's not making him feel terrible, So we can do breakfast for dinner sometimes. I can make like a homemade maple syrup, sugar-free, maple syrup with stevia or allulose or whichever one, and then just use chaffles, and we have eggs, and everybody feels fine because it's just like high protein, high fat, and then the little bit of sweetener.
Yep, I have not tried sweetener back in yet. I figure not right now. Not right now.
I love using RockinCoach. Is that a real thing? What is it?
Okay. RockinCoach is like, okay, I think it's like Bisquick. Only for, let me see. I gotta look it up now.
Have you ever tried the like chicken flour?
No, but
I haven't either.
I had dinner. Okay, I sing in a couple choirs, and one of my choir mates, she went carnivore before I did. And I was explaining to her, I don't know if Rick, I don't think Rick is watching because he's probably on Russ's channel right now. But you know who Rick Charger Mopar is? He makes what he calls everything heart attack food. So he fries chicken and he calls it heart attack chicken because doctors would say it gives you a heart attack, right? Because you're frying it in lard. But my girlfriend says, well, I'm like, I just take the chicken with the skin on and throw it in hot lard and fry it and put some salt on it. And that's how I eat it. But she's like, what if you battered it in the chicken flour? And I'm like, chicken flour? She goes, yeah, there's a chicken flour. And I'm like, I didn't even know there was I learned last night that about chicken. You said chicken flour, right? Chicken flour. I learned last night about it for the first time when my girlfriend was like, well, why couldn't you batter in chicken flour?
Yeah, I've never used it. I always just use pork rind crumbs. So if we're doing like chicken sandwiches, chicken patties, or making like I've done, actually, I think I did a short on this where I make chicken and waffles sometimes. I do chaffles, chicken, and then I just bread it with the pork rind crumbs. They have those, and so that they can have chicken strips or whatever. I just use pork rind crumbs for everything breaded,
And
but yeah,
I
I
just
haven't tried
literally fry the chicken in the lard, and then I strain the lard and I use it up to 6 times. And I just keep it in the fridge. Because you could use your lard and your bacon grease and your tallow multiple times as long as you strain the bits out of it.
Oh.
So I strain it, and then I strain it with a fine strainer, and then I put it in little jars and stick it back in the fridge, and I use it up to 6 times. Or until it starts looking like funny, dark, like it's been burnt. It's like a weird color to it. But you can use your lard multiple times. So I just do that. And if you put flour in it and stuff, I feel like that would be dirtier. It would get the oil dirtier. I just put the chicken in there.
Do you handle
I don't
bacon
know.
fine? That's another thing that causes inflammation for me. I cannot handle bacon, pork belly, which is so depressing because it's delicious, and even just using bacon grease, it it makes me feel like crap. It sucks.
So here's the thing about that. So when I was keto, I did not eat a ton of bacon. We did have pork belly occasionally. But now that I'm carnivore, I eat bacon every day. I mean, come on. Come on, man. I mean, like, you're going to make me give up my cheese and like a salad and like a veggie and whatever else I was eating. So, like, I have to replace it with something. So, do you think, in your opinion, do you think that my knee swelling could be from eating more bacon or too much bacon or pork or
I don't
because I've
know.
heard that's a thing and I'm
Am I-
eating.
there's only one
I
way
mean,
to
I'm
find
trying
out. Dun dun
don't
dun.
don't take away my bacon and bacon grease. I fry everything in bacon grease.
I know, I was doing
Man,
that too. I
so
had to switch over to beef tallow and then butter, which I always used butter anyway, but then I switched from bacon grease, even like kielbasa or sausage, any type of sausage was causing inflammation, but I thought, okay, maybe it's just because of the spices that are in there, so I should just be fine with maybe if I only eat bacon. But no, bacon was
don't
causing
even
so much.
suggest that because like I will die if I can't eat bacon. I mean, but maybe I should do an N=1 and quit that for like a week or two and just see.
Yeah, well,
Although,
uh Peterson's Farm, I think, you know what I'm talking about? The like purple label or whatever.
yep.
That's the bacon that we always get. But if you go to their website, they also have a beef bacon, which tastes pretty good. It's not, it doesn't taste like regular bacon, but it's a beef version of bacon, I guess. But yeah, I haven't eaten bacon for months now because I finally realized, even into the carnivore thing, I'm like, okay, I'm strict carnivore and this bacon is making me feel terrible. And when I stopped eating it, I started to feel so much better.
Well, bacon is literally the thing that I keep in the fridge when I'm so busy and I feel like I'm going to fall off the wagon. I just grab a couple pieces of bacon and move on. So it would be, I mean, it's something I could try if this knee pain doesn't go away after a period of time, but I'm not going to be a good person when I do that. Let's just say that. I may have to go off social media for a time for two things. I mean, I wasn't eating that much bacon, but when you take away something, you have to replace it with something else. That's just how things work. So when I took away all the cheese and all the, keto lasagnas and all the keto whatever's I was eating, I replaced it. I'm like, bacon's a safe snack. Just keep bacon in the fridge and you'll be okay. And I have been okay. But if we now take away the bacon, we got to replace that with something else.
Uh,
So,
have
I
you
mean,
made chicken chips? So if you take like ground chicken and then season it, I just use salt and then I do a little bit of baking powder, mix that all up, flatten it out, bake it. I think like I always do it at like 375 for however long it takes till it's like brown and crisped up. I mean, it really is like a hard sheet of bacon. Break that up and then it's like a nice crunchy chip.
I could probably do that.
Yeah,
I could
that's
probably do that.
I eat that a lot because it helps with like having something crunchy. I can break it up into bits and then like I eat it with cream cheese sometimes. So it's like eating chips or and it's really filling. Like I'll eat just a whole pound of chicken. I have to add some kind of fat to it,
I could
but
probably do that. The other thing is, but there's a problem with these is the chicken skins fried chicken skins are like chips and they're just as good as bacon. The problem is my husband loves them so much too. And I mean, I have gone to the butcher and bought all of their supply of chicken skins. And so then they take a minute to cook too, because it's a little bit of work. I feel like what you're talking about would even be easier than frying the chicken skins.
Yeah, it is good. And also we use it for um like I will just, obviously I don't bake it as long because I don't want it to be super crunchy, but I also will flatten out ground chicken and bake it and use it as pizza crust for everybody. If I actually do some kind of pizza, it will be like I make a homemade Alfredo sauce to keep it carnivore and just have like a thin layer of that, maybe like some pepperoni on top. But ground chicken works for so many different things. I love it. Hey
I'll have to
Jeremy,
try
thanks for
that.
being here. What's purse bacon? Oh, like you just take it along with you?
In your purse. I've had
Okay.
purse bacon, purse cheese. Uh, yeah, purse bacon. Yep, yeah,
That's so
purse bacon
funny.
has saved me a lot of time. I've had purse nuts too. When I was eating nuts, I would take a baggie of, and like we would go out and our friends own a bar down the street. We would go just socialize with people, and I can't eat the food there. And so I would take some nuts in my purse and I would just be sneaking, and they're like, "Are you eating out of your purse?" I'm like, "Yep." I would just eat out of my purse.
Evelyn said purse chaffles. I haven't had them in my purse, but I did make a big batch of chaffles. I made some peanut butter chaffles and then some regular chaffles when we were like going on hikes at almost every day with the kids. And I took a bunch of chaffles for us when we would like be out, and it really was so great because pretty much every time we leave the house the kids are like, I'm hungry, I think because they just want something that's not at home, so they know they're
Right.
going to get like a chomp beef stick or something. So I'm like, this is just cheaper. I'll just make a bunch of chaffles and we will just take chaffles with us in the car.
Oh, I can make jerky too. I
Oh
could
yeah.
probably make beef jerky
Yep. Have you ever made
instead
beef
of
jerky
bacon.
with ground beef?
Yes.
Is it gross? I've been thinking about trying it, but I'm like, I don't know, because I love beef jerky. I've been making homemade beef jerky since, I don't know, my mom taught me when I was like around 11 or something. Like I was really young. So I've only been making it the one way, the normal way. But then I started seeing stuff popping up about like ground beef or
It's
sandwich
okay.
meat. And I'm like, I just don't know if that would be right.
I didn't like it as well as jerky made out of like a roast out of beef, but it's okay. It just tastes like dried ground beef. I mean, it's got a
Oh,
ground beef,
all
like,
right. I'm just going to
which
not do
is
it.
funny because I have some marinated, uh, like roast. Before I went carnivore, I sliced up really thin some meat and I put it in a marinade and I stuck it in the freezer. So I probably will eat that. It's just got some, I don't know what's got in it, Worcestershire sauce and some seasonings and some water. I may have no, I think I may have put some coconut aminos in it, maybe. Coconut
Oh,
aminos I put in there. So I do need to get that out and just use it up so it doesn't go bad. But next time I'd probably just use salt, just salt
mm-hmm.
and just I smoke it in the smoker. So
Truffles going to a restaurant. That's
but
a good
yeah,
idea. I've thought about doing that because we don't go out to eat very often, but when we do, everybody just orders burgers and we just ask them, like no bun. So the boys will have burgers and a salad, and I will just have like burgers. I asked one time, instead of like the fries that whatever automatically come, can I just have like bacon? Can you just put bacon on my plate? Can I just have bacon as my side? And the lady was like, I don't know. I'd have to ask people in the kitchen if we're allowed. I'm like, what do you mean if you're allowed? But anyway, truffles at a restaurant would be good because then, I mean, nobody complains. Not even our youngest complains about eating a burger without a bun, but it could maybe be a little bit, I don't know. They might like it. I'll ask if they want me to make them some truffles next time we go out.
I used to sneak purse chaffles and purse buns in my purse, like when we went out to eat to have a hamburger, but I need more. I don't feel like I require any of that. I just like eating the meat. I just like eating the meat. And
Yeah.
last night we went to a restaurant after choir practice, and they have a breakfast burger, which is hamburger, eggs, and bacon. And I'm like, can
Mm.
I add an extra patty to that? So I actually had 2, and I didn't realize they were half-pound burgers. So I ate a whole pound. I'm pretty sure they were half-pound burgers because these things were thick. Now, the only bad thing was the egg was fried in seed oils, I'm sure. But, I mean, there's not much you can do about that at a restaurant. But I had 2 half-pound hamburgers, a fried egg, and 2 pieces of bacon, and it was under $20. So it was like
Nice.
$17 with tip. So I was like, that's not bad, actually.
Yeah, not too bad. Worcestershire, however you say, actually has probiotics too. Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Hmm. Oh, oh my gosh. Finally, we turned Amy vampire or meatapire. We called that an egg burger when I was growing up. We still eat those quite often. Oh yeah, I like a fried egg on my. I thought, isn't it also sometimes called like a burger royale or something? With the when the burger has the fried egg on it. I
I
don't
didn't
know.
know that. That's what I'm going to start calling it. Burger Royale. Because that's my favorite.
Yeah, it is good with the runny yolks. Yummy. Okay, I think I have to end this because but you know what? How long have we been on here? Almost
Almost
two
2 hours.
hours. That is amazing. Especially for you guys who have been in my live streams and who come to my live streams on a regular basis. Usually, like almost exactly on the 1 hour mark, I start to go down. I'm definitely feeling it now. Like I can feel parts of my body
Well,
starting to
thank you
go
so much
numb.
for having me on. And let's definitely do this again. I'll have to report back to you about some of the things that are happening, like my knee pain
Yeah.
and, how I recover from surgery and stuff. So I'd be happy to come back on if you'll have me.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Ooh, okay. Bye, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna like cut it off because I
Bye,
just don't want to
everybody.
go down on a live stream. Bye, you guys. I love you guys.